All right, today we have some new information on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. The owner, creator, webmaster of Serebii.net got to go hands-on with this game for 2 hours at a special media event. This media event invited a lot of people, such as people who run popular Pokemon websites, and also a lot of social media influencers. If you don't know, YouTubers are often referred to as influencers, and I wasn't invited. Damn it. Anyways, they had a bunch to say, and I'm just going to kind of go through their post here and get this new information out there for you guys. So it says, today Nintendo and the Pokemon Company International were kind enough to allow me to play 2 hours of the start of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and he's able to share everything that he experienced while playing the game in the game demo. He was only able to play through the first 2 hours, back to the end of Brock's gym in Pewter City. This meant that there won't be as much exploring, but could truly show the elements of the game. It continues on much like Pokemon Yellow does, as you would suspect, with the progression that we know, going from Pallet Town through Viridian City and up to the gym after Viridian Forest. There was then a small demo in Route 6 to showcase local cooperative play. First, mechanically, the battles were pretty much exactly the same as previous main series Pokemon games, with the physical and special split remaining intact. IVs fully appear to be within the game, but with limited time with the early part of the game, it is impossible to completely determine if the IV spreads are identical to how they were in the games since Ruby and Sapphire. EVs are a different story. At the present, it's hard to say what the situation is with EVs. After some battles, an additional +1 appears in the stat, such as speed or attack, but this +1 is also added with the candy obtained from transferring Pokemon, with it listing how many more candy a Pokemon needs for a boost. As many people have speculated through various demos and videos, there are no held items in the game, and no option to make a Pokemon hold an item. This means that many of the items you come to expect, such as the Choice Band, cannot be found. In addition to this, abilities aren't in the game. Experience is definitely weighted more towards capture than battle. You typically seem to earn more experience points catching Pokemon, but you will get bonuses if it's a new Pokemon, quality of the capture, and so forth. Synchronizing capture with a second player locally also boosts the experience bonus. Capture is relatively simple. There's a lure item that lasts for a few minutes, which increases the wild Pokemon spawns, and Panap berries will also increase chances of finding an item after catching a Pokemon. These items are typically berries. The capture element is much the same as in previous demos, but being able to see the Pokemon was a much more refreshing experience, allowing the player to try and avoid wild encounters if they are so inclined. The wild encounters do seem to provide a bit more experience than the traditional trainer battles. Pokemon also react differently to you based on the species. Some are docile, while others charge at you, or Abra will teleport away if it spots you. The trainer battles also end with Pokeballs being given in order to continue the capture. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't quite determine the mechanics behind comboing Pokemon, catching Pokemon of the same species consecutively. I got to a combo of 13 with a Caterpie, but can't say for sure if it boosted any IVs or did any further capture chances. A combo is broken if the Pokemon flees. The partner Pokemon do appear to have a larger base stat. By comparing a wild Pikachu with the starter Pikachu at the same level, there is a vast difference. The base power of Eevee's Sizzly Slide, Bouncy Bubble, and Buzzy Buzz moves is 90. Jessie, James, and Meowth appear only in Viridian City. However, they just replaced the old man who needs his coffee, who then shows you how to catch Pokemon. You still won't battle them until Mount Moon. As shown in the information release in June at E3, you need to have a grass or water type Pokemon before entering Pewter City Gym. However, this is only needed to first enter it and isn't required in your actual team for when you are battling against Brock and his other gym trainers. So any fears of ridiculously easy hand-holding difficulty can be laid to rest. You get given the first customization option, the sportswear matching the default outfit of the trainer by the rival's sister as you leave Pallet Town. Items are grouped into multiple categories. Your Pokemon box is in your bag, as are capture items such as berries and balls, healing items, battle items such as guard spec and mega stones, candy, and so forth. With this, you can also have items from other categories outside the main item list, such as lures, town map, fossils, and other key miscellaneous items. As with previous games, each gender option contains 4 different options of character skin tone. There was also some play of the support player function, where a second player can play in the game. Their following Pokemon is the second in your party, and you share the same 6 Pokemon for battle. In this mode, the second player also can't interact with items, wild Pokemon, or trainers. Overall, the game is clearly a main series Pokemon game, just with a few tweaks to lure in the uninitiated audience. It's not the competitive game many players want, but at its soul, it is a true Pokemon game. All of the gameplay we had was recorded, and we'll be able to post our exclusive gameplay as soon as we can, probably later this week, so be sure to keep checking back. And if and when that gameplay is posted, I will try to amend the description of this video or do a pinned comment and put that gameplay in there so you guys can go check out Serebee's gameplay on this by Joe Merrick, the person who runs Serebii.net. All this is very interesting. I think the biggest takeaway is it appears a lot of fears over this game are completely overblown. And I thought this for a long time, but I didn't have the evidence to back it up. Here's the thing. I played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee at E3. I've played it. But the focus of that play session was mostly just, here's how you capture Pokemon. And I talked about how it felt a little bit more skill-based to me than necessarily battling them down. But that's only in the case of, the more common Pokemon. I mean, I think the hardest Pokemon I tried to catch was a Beedrill. There's obviously a lot harder Pokemon to catch than that. And in a traditional Pokemon game, those, catching a legendary Pokemon or something is extremely difficult. And I can imagine it's probably going to be extremely difficult in this game as well. But no one has publicly, anyways, experienced those kind of captures yet to see how it compares. But I think I just love how he ends his description, because this is like one of the most well-known Pokemon veteran players in the world. And here he is saying, guys, this is a true Pokemon game. If you think this is a sides thing, you think it's a spin-off, you think it's not part of the main line, no, it's very, very much a Pokemon game. They changed up one really big mechanic, and that is, instead of battling Pokemon down, they focus on throwing Pokeballs. You can dislike that change till the sun comes home. But that doesn't change the base of the game. It's still very much Pokemon. And I love that he clearly explained that while, yes, you need a grass or water type to enter Brock's gym, that's it. That's just to get past the entrance. Then you can change your group to whatever you want. So, if you think it's hand-holding, say someone just walks in with, a level 1 Caterpie, and they're like, oh, man, level 1 Caterpie ain't going to get me far. They can go change their team out and build whatever team they want and have all the challenge they want. I don't know if I agree with this comment on not having the hand-holding, because the hand-holding thing, to me, was never about can you change out your Pokemon after you get in the gym. You're required to have certain Pokemon types to enter the gym. Ergo, the game is telling you what Pokemon will be strongest in that gym. That, to me, was the hand-holding aspect, but I do like that you're able to change out your party. So it sounds like what's going to happen at the beginning of all these gyms is there'll be this requirement. You must have a Pokemon at this level. You must have a Pokemon of this type. But once you unlock the gym, basically it's like there's a lock to get in. Once you unlock the gym, then you can just do whatever the hell you want. And I like that. That is a big thing to me, because even when there's Pokemon that are suggested to use in certain gyms, I personally in the past have always just liked a team. I build up my team of 6. And occasionally I'll swap one out, but my team of 6 is what I use for basically everything. Unless I'm leveling, obviously I could be leveling other Pokemon, but once those are maxed out, especially, I'll be leveling other Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, that's just how I've always done it. I get my 6 favorite Pokemon, and that's what I build my party with. And no matter how hard it gets in the single player anyways, I really try to push forward with it. But yeah, obviously swapping Pokemon as I get new Pokemon that I like more. So I'm happy with these changes. I'm happy with the direction of the game. I'm happy that, it sounds like Eevee and Ivy. I guess the other big change is the no more held items. They got rid of held items. Held items haven't always been a thing in the Pokemon franchise anyways. If I remember right, I'm trying to think back to Pokemon Yellow. I don't think held items were even in Pokemon Yellow. I don't remember Pokemon holding items back then. So yeah, there were no held items in Pokemon Yellow originally in the first place. So the fact that this is kind of like a reimagining, a remake of Pokemon Yellow almost makes sense that there aren't held items because, again, that really wasn't part of Pokemon Yellow. They could have added that in, of course, but I'm not going to hold that against them. You know, Eevees and Ivies apparently being intact in some form. All the battles working exactly like Pokemon battles have always worked. It basically sounds like this is a traditional Pokemon game in every sense of the word, just with the capturing mechanic attempting to be made more appealing to audience members who maybe haven't been trying out the mainline Pokemon games. I think this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. I talked about this back during E3 a lot, but Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee felt and looked like a Pokemon game. Yes, there's Pokemon out in the wild, as there should be now that we have these games in HD. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to see the Pokemon out in the wild. They don't need to be random encounters when we can literally see, like when I'm out in the woods, you might randomly encounter an animal. But you see that animal typically before you end up stepping on them, right? Like, you don't just step onto a deer. You see the deer first. So, yeah, it's just interesting to me how are the tides shifting for this game? I've seen some other impressions come out from people who played this demo that seem to be like, yeah, this is the traditional Pokemon game. This is way more a traditional Pokemon game, I think anyways, than a lot of people went into this play session expecting it to be. And to me, that's nothing but a good thing. They basically got rid of held items, which weren't in Pokemon Yellow in the first place, so maybe they, instead of getting rid of, they just didn't add them in addition to, and they changed, then instead of whittling Pokemon down, you throw Pokeballs, and then there's a certain level of challenge to throwing the Pokeballs and how you approach Pokemon. I like that when like you approach an Abra or whatever, it could like vanish on you if it sees you. I like that. That's taking advantage of the skills and making even encountering Pokemon a bit more difficult. Oh, I could see them and just walk into them. Not necessarily. It depends, because sometimes you need to sneak up on them and maybe need to do certain items, and I like it. If you can't tell, I'm really excited for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Has nothing really to do with the fact that it's yellow, although yellow it might be my favorite Pokemon game. I'd have to sit down and actually debate with myself on that. But mostly because I have not deep dove in a Pokemon game for a while because I've been turned off. And this seems to have reinvigorated me somehow. I can't quite explain how, but when I play the game, I just know. And when I played it at E3, I'm like, yeah, I want this now. So I can't wait to try it out. Maybe we'll review it from the perspective of someone who I guess is typically called a Gen 1er, and then I'll be told how, of course, this game appeals to you, Gen 1er. It's a Gen 1 remake. Well, like, I know. I can't escape. All right, folks. I am Nathaniel Jets from the Turner Prime. Let me know what you think about this news down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, that's all right. Hit that dislike button. Subscribe for more content if you would be so kind, and I will catch you in the next one.